Good morning, YouTube. This is Robert Firestone, 9:27 a.m., 12/13/2019, Friday the 13th. Okay, to start with, thank y'all for all y'all comments and everything, and anybody new that pops up, thank you for your comments. I was watching Harvey's video audio special thing on the non-court situation. Harvey done the right thing, okay? He left them with more questions than answers. That's every time in any of this so-called justice system that you want to do. I've been watching hours of people that was recording audio, video, knowing that according to the so-called court system, you're not allowed to do so. The reason they did anyway, they understood, just like Harvey said, they wasn't citizens. Everybody, we've forgotten, okay? This is how felonious all this shit has become, okay? Harvey, and what I meant by my comment is dog, is it dog? And the English language was written this way, I do believe, purposely. Our forefathers understood the law, common law, and how it was supposed to be presented, but throughout the years, and we've forgotten how to play with these idiots, okay, because they pushed us into a situation to where they kept us so fucking busy on all this other stupid shit, the stuff that we were supposed to be engaged in. We do not until they claim we've done something to the system. Then they drag us in front of a bunch of idiots, okay? Half of them don't even understand the law. Reason I'm saying this is because if you watch, and I'm sure you've tuned in a little bit here and there, but probably not a whole lot because it probably don't affect you a whole lot. But even Trump is showing the whole world how stupid, okay, this circus known as rule of law really is. Look how long it's taking the opposing side of Trump, okay, the one that's supposed to be helping Trump. Look how long it's taking these people to carry out justice, okay? Being the circus plays by another set of rules, okay? I've sat and watched hours of people in courtrooms listening to their audio, listening and watching their video. I watched one guy, and I think it was a little over 45 minutes long or something. This guy, the first thing he done when they called his name, he went forth, he asked to cross the barrier there, known as the ship's, I think, helm, and the judge allowed it, and then the guy took up a whole list, okay, of words, and asked the judge before he started the procedure to have somebody go and look up these terms, words, okay, and present them to him so he would understand them. He knows that it was a game, okay? He done this purposely. And the judge denied him, okay? They went forth with the bullshit. There was one word that the guy just tore the judge a new asshole on, and the judge couldn't do anything because he was answering the judge's questions. But the way he answered the judge's questions was by the terms and terminologies that he understood. Not the judges, not the systems, not the fucking rule of law. Okay? And the word was ticket. He, for 30 minutes, had that judge backing up, looking for every terminology that he could look for to make sure that the guy understood what the word ticket meant. And the guy kept talking about buying tickets at Costco, buying tickets at the circus, buying tickets at a concert. The judge couldn't do any damn thing with him because he understood that the circus is run by the word of words. I mean, the law of words. Okay. And for 30 minutes. Okay. And you could hear the distress in the judge's voice, and he was getting madder and madder and madder. Okay. It got to the point to where the judge had to say case dismissed because the guy sat there and made the judge look like a complete fool and idiot because he knew by uh, the rule of law is run by words. Our forefathers understood them because they're the ones that come up with them. Okay. Then the so-called justice system and the bankers and mixing the law of the land slash the law of the sea, two different categories, but they mixed them, put them together, merged them, so they could rip us off from birth to death. Okay, we was never ever supposed to go into any kind of commercial bullshit like that. I don't own no boat. I don't own no ship. I walk on land, just like the rest of us most of the time. Then when we are in a boat, it's either for a vacation or we're fishing. Or you might be one of the law enforcement's having to go dredge a body up. Okay, there ain't a whole lot of reason for us to even be on water. We come from water, and these ways and terminologies of things that they use against us, we're slowly waking up to it. And Trump told us also. And also, for the ones that follow Q told us too. We have forgotten how to play the game. The sad part is, most of us don't want to play the game. We want to be left to fuck alone and have a life that we consider um, fruitful and enjoyable. Okay, but when you throw them idiots in there, and half of them that's even sitting in there, just like that so-called prosecuting attorney on the Fed side, didn't have a clue to a point. But then I heard him pause a few times, and I heard him almost stumble and say some things that he shouldn't say because he knew if he did, Harvey had him even worse. Okay? I'm not saying I knew what the man was going to say. I just filled in the blanks thinking, okay, if he had said this or that, he'd have been screwed. The cop already knew that he was screwed by the way Harvey presented himself, the living man, in that so-called kangaroo court. Here again, why in the hell would you have to have somebody like that, unless it wasn't about money, okay, to determine if there was going to be a court case or not? Then they didn't even give Harvey a court date, okay? If that don't tell you that it's a setup from the get-go, something's wrong with most people. But, like I said, I've listened to hours of legalese, so to speak, dog Latin. That's all this shit is, okay? Then they try to use the old thing, the sovereign citizen bullshit. For anybody that sees this, have an understanding. Sovereign citizen, you cannot be a free slave. Okay? You can be sovereign. Okay? You damn sure don't really want to be a citizen. Our title was taken from us and off our birth certificate. I think Harvey proved that. The men of this United States are to be lords, and the women are to be ladies. That's how they're supposed to be addressed. That's how we're supposed to be addressed. Okay? And another thing, I've not actually been able to get into it yet, but I'm wondering, okay, where did last names come from? We have a birth name, okay, but where really did the last names come from? I've not got into trying to figure it out yet, but if anybody can actually tell me now, when whoever leaves me the comment or tells me where the last names come from, the first thing I got to question is, where did you pick up the valuable information to tell me where they come from? You got to be suspect of knowing that about 99% of our history, okay, and I'm saying it, 99% of our history is fictitious and made up, okay? They're right now trying to change the rules, regulations, and everything else with Trump, okay, and this so-called bullshit impeachment, okay? If anything, Trump's trying to show the world and the United States people, okay, just like the Bible says, the man's law is unjust, okay? He's using himself as a guinea pig. And the sad part of it is he can't really outright say it because he would look like some kind of kook or some kind of somebody that ain't got a whole lot of sense, okay? But he already knows. And I think anybody and everybody that's around him, Barr, he knows too. They're this game, okay? Think about this. I've said this before. If you write law, big bold letters on a piece of paper, lay it down in your house, walk by it all day long. Tell me somebody when that word jumped up off that piece of paper and smacked you in the face. It never will, okay? Just like written words in these law books, that's all the fuck they are is words, okay? To prove something, we haven't, just like what just Harvey went through. He should have never been suspect to any of that bullshit. The first thing is the cops stole Harvey's phone. Okay? Listen to the conversation in the beginning of all of this. Okay? And have an understanding is the so-called law officer, okay, if I'm not mistaken, Harvey's phone probably $600-800, okay? It may have been a little cheaper, may have been a little bit more expensive. Don't know what kind of phone he was carrying. It could have been anywhere from a regular felony to a grand theft. I don't know. It depends on, and you got to think about the standards that he's got to keep up with, and he's a fucking thief. So we, as people, this sucks, and I've said it before in some other videos. There's going to come a time to where if anything is to get done, we are going to have to fucking engage, just like Harvey did, okay? And I'm seeing hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of testimony from different people throughout many years on YouTube, and some newer ones, some older ones. I'm listening to people that actually has started figuring out that like the word I told Harvey, does dog mean dog? Yeah, it means dog, but it's all in how it's being used. I could be describing a four-legged animal, okay? Or I could be describing my neighbor that screwed me over. This is where we have allowed them to use words against us. And if we listen close enough, just like Harvey was doing, and understood that words don't mean shit unless it's all it depends on how it's been used. And like I said, that one court case I watched when the guy took a whole list of words up there to that judge and asked him where he got these words from, and he wanted the definitions of them so he could have complete and utter understanding in the so-called courtroom that he would have a way to understand all this. Then the judge started asking him rhetorical questions about the ticket, and the guy just ate that judge's ass alive, and the judge had to dismiss the case because the judge couldn't get him on any kind of bullshit, because the bullshit was the judge automatically knew it was a war of words, okay? The guy answered every fucking question the judge throwed at him, but he didn't answer them the way the judge wanted it structured in the ticket. That's sad, but that's the case. I'm not going to make a long video. That Greta idiot little girl listened to these two conservative comedians or black guys. They're just funner than hell. And if you don't like how I describe them, I don't care. But they're black guys, and they're funnier than hell. they was talking about Greta not having no science to back her up. No, they don't want to back no science up because it's already been proven to be a lie. Okay? Global warming is a fucking lie. Okay? It's already been proven. X22 will walk you down the fucking road if you go back and you find the video on how they orchestrated it, just like the years of this bullshit law. Words, words, words. Okay? The English language was never to be bastardized as bad as it is. Okay? But they seen the opportunity. The wealthy and the sadistic in their head, the ones that should have never been in charge. Okay? But they seen air and opportunity to make multi-millions, and it turned themselves into these little kings and kingdoms. Okay? How do you think most of them has been exempt forever of taxes? Taxes was never supposed to have been implemented. Okay? There is probably one or two people in Trump's ear right now that's actual real constitutionalist. Okay? The ones that understood what the forefathers actually intended for all of us. It was none of this bullshit. If they would have took place and done what was supposed to have done, me, you, and every damn one of us out here would have had a cut of the motherfucking pie as soon as we was born from our mom's pussy. Forgive my language, but blunt and upfront is a whole lot better than mingling words. Because think of the word vagina and think of the word on how many words has been made up for vagina. Okay? But anyway, we broke water. We hit this land running. They took our title away from us from birth, off our birth certificate. Their certificates was bonds, stocks and bonds. Yes, that's exactly right. It's been proven. But you have enough people that's supposedly in charge, okay, to keep backing them up. And the war on words, as soon as the mainstream media is broke down, bent over, and charged and thrown in a fucking lake somewhere, more people will wake up. Because they've been keeping this sham going too. The legal system, the school system, financial system, all of them's in cahoots. There again, the four hidden dynasties. If you take and write them 4 words on a piece of paper, then come over here on the other side of the piece of paper and start writing down how every one of them is connected to every little so-called system out here, you'll start seeing all of a sudden the lines crossing each other, overlapping each other. Well, damn, the school system from kindergarten all the way up through college, okay? But think of the banking industries involved in that. Think about the political bullshit that's being taught to these so-called educated idiots, okay? Think of the religious system that's involved in all that bullshit. We got to have an understanding there's coming a time, just like Harvey's doing, even though it's an aggravation, but see, they knew that too, that we're going to have to engage with these idiots. Then when we do engage with these idiots on the war of words, we're going to have to be a little bit smarter than they are to make them look retarded enough to where they'll be throwing their hands up in the air. What do? What you do is you leave us the fuck alone. Peace to all, y'all. And like I said, Miss Greta and the climate warming bullshit. You're 16 years old. You're jet setting all over the motherfucking world. Time magazine. You're part of the problem. There's a media. You're jet setting all over the fucking world, and you make her a person of the fucking year. Then you got another cover with these fucking liars that set up in the fucking courtroom trying their best to railroad our so-called sitting president. And I'm telling y'all now that a lot of people don't want to hear that. Trump even knows it himself, but he ain't going to admit it, not outright, until a lot of this stuff gets squashed, that he's not even legitimate. Peace to all, y'all.